This story is a work of fiction, inspired by real events. Names, dates, locations, and identifying details have been changed or dramatized to protect privacy and enhance the narrative. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental or used fictitiously. This content is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not aim to glorify crime, promote violence, or pass judgment on real individuals. Viewer discretion is advised. Some scenes may contain mature, disturbing, or triggering content. What you are about to watch could have happened anywhere, to anyone. It's inspired by real events. Whispers of truth, buried beneath layers of fiction. We've changed the names, the dates, the locations, but the emotions, the betrayal, the fear, those are real. This story is not meant to accuse, only to reveal, to make you question, who do you really trust? If stories like this keep you thinking, long after they end, hit subscribe, smash like, and drop your theory in the comments. Now watch closely, before the truth disappears again.
In 2011, nearly 18 years after his daughter vanished, Michael Pierce sat alone in the quiet of his Texas home. The walls were lined with memories, photographs frozen in time, and echoes of a life that had been shattered. His hands trembled as he turned the pages of a yearbook from 1993, pages he had studied countless times, searching for anything he might have missed. Then, something caught his eye. A faint, almost invisible scrawl, written hurriedly, hidden among the signatures of friends and classmates. If anything happens to me, look at the photograph on page 87. Michael's heart raced. He flipped to the page. A cheer squad photo stared back at him, familiar yet now terrifying. Behind the bleachers, half hidden, was Ryan Mallory. His eyes were fixed on Ashley Pierce, and the expression on his face was not affection, it was something darker, something possessive. That single moment would shatter years of grief, reopen a cold case, and reveal the chilling truth about what had happened the night Ashley vanished. Ashley Pierce's story is a chilling reminder to pay attention to the subtle signs, to trust your instincts, and to speak out when something feels wrong. If this story moved you, share it. Help raise awareness about the dangers that often hide in plain sight. And for more true crime stories that expose the hidden darkness behind everyday lives, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every story matters. Every voice deserves to be heard. Let's dive in. Ashley Pierce was 17 in the fall of 1993, and in her Texas suburb, she carried a light that seemed to brighten every room she entered. She wasn't just a cheerleader. She was the girl who helped freshmen tie their sneakers, stayed after school to tutor classmates in math, and left handwritten notes of encouragement in teachers' boxes. Her father, Michael Pierce, knew her as something even more precious. After losing his wife years before, Ashley had become the reason he woke up each morning. Their bond was quiet but profound. Saturday mornings were pancakes and syrup in their tiny kitchen. Afternoons were spent in the garage, oil-stained hands working on cars while Ashley narrated her day with infectious laughter. Evenings were for walks in the neighborhood, her small hand tucked in his, sharing secrets only a father and daughter could understand. She called him Pops. He called her Little Star. Every glance, every gesture, every word between them spoke of love, trust, and hope. Their life was ordinary, yes, but it carried a warmth that seemed untouchable. Until Ryan Mallory entered the picture. Ryan Mallory was 17, strikingly handsome, with a charisma that made people instinctively trust him. As the star football player, he walked the halls like he owned them, smiles on every face, whispers following him wherever he went. On the surface, he had it all: charm, popularity, and the easy confidence of someone used to winning. But behind that smile was a boy shaped by fear. His father's anger could erupt without warning, filling rooms with tension that never fully dissipated. His mother had learned to step back, leaving Ryan to navigate a household where love was conditional and control was survival. From a young age, he understood one rule: to keep people close, you had to control them. At school, the signs were subtle but real. He slammed a locker a little too hard. He stared too long at classmates who ignored him. He whispered threats masked as jokes, and no one thought much of it. They saw the football star, not the boy trapped inside him. When Ryan first saw Ashley, something shifted. She didn't see the athlete, the golden boy, or the well-known face. She saw him, the boy behind the charm, vulnerable, craving attention and warmth. And to Ryan, that attention became intoxicating, the beginning of an obsession that would consume both their lives. Ryan didn't fall for Ashley because she was beautiful, popular, or perfect. He fell for her because she made him feel safe in a way he had never known. She listened when he spoke. She saw him, not the football star, not the boy everyone wanted to be, but the person he really was. To Ryan, who had spent years walking on eggshells at home, that attention was like oxygen. It started small. A glance held too long. A hand lingering on her shoulder. A sudden smile that lingered in his eyes. Every interaction, every word, planted a seed. And Ryan needed her. He needed her presence to soothe a storm inside him that had raged for years. When Ashley laughed, he felt a calm he had never known. When she pulled away, even slightly, it sent him spiraling. Admiration became dependency. Dependency became obsession. Every text she didn't answer. Every time she spent a moment with someone else. Every refusal to see him, he felt it as rejection, a threat he could not survive. The warmth Ashley offered had become a trap. And Ryan was already caught. Ashley sensed the danger before she fully understood it. Ryan's attention, once flattering, now felt heavy. He wanted to know where she went, who she saw, and what she was doing every moment of the day. She tried to distance herself. Short conversations. Polite refusals. Avoiding rides. Every small act felt necessary, like leaving a door ajar just enough to keep herself safe. She confided in two friends. Ryan scares me sometimes. Ryan's reactions were unpredictable. One moment, pleading eyes. The next, a glare that froze the air. He appeared at practices unannounced, lingered too long at school events, whispered threats masked as promises, "You'll always be mine." Weeks before Ashley vanished, the Pierce home was broken into. Nothing was stolen. No suspect found. At the time, it seemed like a random act. Looking back, it was a warning, a test of boundaries, a shadow of the violence to come. Each attempt Ashley made to protect herself only seemed to tighten the invisible grip Ryan had on her life, setting the stage for the night that would change everything. The October air was sharp, carrying the scent of fallen leaves as Ashley Pierce left cheer practice. Her backpack bounced lightly on her shoulders. She waved goodbye to friends, unaware that this evening would become the last normal moment of her life. She never made it home. Michael Pierce waited, each passing minute heavier than the last. Calls went unanswered. Silence pressed against the walls. Panic clawed at his chest. Every parent's instinct screamed that something was wrong. The police arrived, questioning neighbors, classmates, anyone who might have seen her. At first, they whispered possibilities, a runaway, a teen romance gone wrong. Michael refused to accept it. "My daughter would never leave me," he said, voice tight, eyes hollow. Ryan Mallory gave a statement. Calm. Rehearsed. Too perfect. Detectives noticed the cracks immediately. His timeline shifted, details wavered, and his emotions didn't match the weight of the situation. Something about his composure didn't sit right, a charm masking something darker, something that would later become terrifyingly clear. With no body, no witnesses, and no modern technology, the case went cold. The night Ashley vanished became a scar on the community. And an ache in Michael's heart that would never fully heal. For 18 years, Michael Pierce lived in a house frozen in time. Ashley's room remained untouched, a shrine to a life that had ended too soon. Her cheer uniform, washed meticulously and folded just so, awaited a birthday that she would never celebrate. Her books, letters, photographs, all preserved like a museum of memories. Every corner of the house whispered her absence. He could hear the faint echoes of her laughter in empty rooms. Her backpack leaned against the wall, her shoes untouched. He slept in her bed sometimes, breathing in the scent of her pillow, as if it could bring her back. He searched her yearbooks every year, page by page, signature by signature, desperate for anything he had missed. Every photograph, every note, every message was examined, dissected, replayed in his mind. And then, in 2011, a glimmer appeared. A faint, hurried message, almost invisible. If anything happens to me. Look at the photograph on page 87. Michael's hands trembled as he flipped the page. A cheer squad photo stared back. And there, behind the bleachers, partially hidden, stood Ryan Mallory, eyes locked on Ashley, not with affection, but with possession. That single discovery would reopen a case long thought cold, exposing a truth buried for nearly 2 decades. Michael Pierce's fingers traced the familiar lines of Ashley's yearbook. He had looked at these pages hundreds of times, searching for answers. And then, there it was. A faint, hurried message, almost erased by time. If anything happens to me, look at the photograph on page 87. His heart hammered. Hands shaking, he flipped the page. The cheer squad photo stared back at him. Ashley smiled, radiant and unaware. But behind the bleachers, half hidden, Ryan Mallory watched her. His eyes weren't warm, they were possessive. His expression carried a quiet menace that sent a shiver down Michael's spine. For the first time in 18 years, the familiar image felt dangerous. That photograph, once ordinary, was now a warning frozen in time. And Michael knew the case could no longer remain cold. The photograph sparked a chain reaction. Investigators reopened every lead, scrutinizing every detail with fresh eyes. A former classmate revealed what Ashley had whispered long ago, "Ryan scares me sometimes." At the time, a teenage worry. Now, a signal of danger. Police reports surfaced about a break-in at the Pierce home weeks before her disappearance. Nothing stolen. No suspect. At the time, dismissed. Now, it was a chilling precursor. Friends recalled threats Ryan had made, veiled as casual remarks, "You'll always be mine." His temper, his jealousy, his need to control, every incident formed a pattern. Investigators pieced it together, Ryan's obsession had escalated quietly, methodically. Ashley had tried to warn others, to pull away, but her fear was unseen. And the boy who had once promised comfort and safety had become the architect of a tragedy that would haunt a father forever. Michael sank into Ashley's empty room. The weight of 18 years pressed down like stones. Silence filled the corners where her laughter once lived. The yearbook photograph had shattered every fragile hope. Ryan Mallory wasn't a boy with flaws, he was a predator. Every threat, every jealous glance, every controlling act, suddenly, the pieces fit. Ashley had feared him. She had tried to escape. And he had silenced her. Michael's hands shook. His chest tightened. Rage and grief collided, leaving him raw and hollow. Every memory of her, the small hand in his, the laughter in the garage, the birthday smiles, poured over him in waves of sorrow. But clarity emerged from the pain. The truth could not be ignored. Ryan Mallory's obsession, the warnings Ashley left behind, the subtle signs, all demanded justice. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, Michael rose from the chair with a purpose. The quiet house, filled with memory and grief, now carried a mission: uncover the truth, confront the darkness, and ensure that Ashley's story would finally be heard. Section 10, Closing Lessons and CTA, 24:00, 25:00. Ashley Pierce's story is a warning. Danger often hides behind charm, and obsession can fester in silence. What appeared to be a teenage romance was, in truth, a trap, leaving a family shattered and a community scarred. Michael's devotion, his relentless search, and the hidden message in a yearbook remind us that even in the darkest moments, courage can leave a trace. Listen to the subtle signs. Speak when something feels wrong. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. Ashley's voice, quiet yet persistent, still reaches across time. Let her story be heard. Share it. Raise awareness. And for more true crime stories that reveal the hidden darkness behind ordinary lives, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every story matters. Every voice deserves to be heard.